Hey, good morning, guys. Back again, real fast. Just wanted to go over and talk over what's happening in the markets at the moment. I won't have long today as I'm going out of town and must get everything ready. But today's 1/17/2025, 6:41 a.m. Let's go ahead and look at the charts. So, same thing as always, right? I draw my 530 lines out. It's really all I keep on my chart. And I draw the 2100 opening price, which you can see in the top left screen there. It is 0.21289 and a quarter, and if I click on that, 21889 and a quarter. So I draw the opening up prices. This was yesterday's high. You see that we have moved above the opening high. On the hourly, there's not like clear swing, but that is like a 4-hour swing. And then also we have this little 4-hour gap that we kind of just tapped back into. So who knows? Maybe price goes lower. We technically are in a premium now, and I'll show you why. But anything can happen here. Does this area here hold as like a support and resistance kind of thing? But I would say we are in a premium because our midnight opening price is here, right? We opened here. We did come a little bit lower. It came up, and then kind of kept coming up, coming up. Right here's 530 open. This candle right here, pretty much right at this spot here, is the open. So all we've really done is moved higher than the opening price. We moved higher at 530, and we moved above a previous day high. So maybe there's some kind of entries we could be taking soon to be getting some shorts, possibly. We all had that 4-hour gap, and we also had the 1-hour gap. This black line up here was the previous week's high, and we did take out the previous week's low, so maybe someone's thinking like we're going to continue going up, going up, going up, and maybe we will, just maybe not today. I would say the clear swing that's prior to 530 on the bottom swing low is like this one, this one, this one, right? So this is yesterday's high, and this is well, not really. Yeah, yesterday's low, 1 o'clock right here. So that is our range. I don't know if price would need to come all the way down here. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. But let's go look a little closer. So on the 15-minute, we've already had the 630 open. So price is now, it's this candle right here is the 630 open. But like I said, we've opened here, 530 here, and we moved above an old high. We're in a previous gap. What's going on here? I mean, this technically is a swing low on a 5-minute, and we're above highs and we're breaking lower. Maybe there's a little gap here if you guys see that, right? From here, this candle's high to this candle's low, and it's the one that broke this swing low right here. Maybe that is an opportunity for us to go short. It is getting to a good time to take a trade. If you were up like at 4 in the morning and that was the time you traded at, right here, we came into the swing low yesterday, right? Through the night, 2100, kind of did this, and then bam, at 4 o'clock, you tapped into this little gap here. This is a swing high, this is a break. This would have been a cool trade if you were here, got in there, but would you be up at 4 in the morning trading that? I don't know. I'm not sure if you would be. But you could have potentially been, bam, riding that up prior to 5:30. I mean, if you were someone who traded at that time, um, but that's not really my session, so I wouldn't be there at that time. So again, I'm just going to quickly show you how I see the breaks. Right, so that's a swing low break, and there's a gap there. So let's just say you were to take a position here, and you just want to go short for a little bit. You wouldn't even need that many ticks. Here, imagine you just caught it like that. Bam, 60 ticks. But let's just say you did. But let's look at the 15-minute though, right? 15-minute did close. We do have these like little gaps here. Let's see how the hour is looking. The hour is looking like a big ass wick. 4 hour is looking pretty wicky. I would like to see kind of on the 4 hour and 13, 14 minutes when it closes. Does this candle close above this high or not? Because if it does not, then I could probably see us going a little slightly lower. And if we were to go lower, where are we going to? A good spot to keep in mind is just the 530 opening price. So I can see my 530 opening price here. I know that this candle is the open, right? Like this one, right? This candle opened here, moved up, closed here, opened here, moved down a little bit, moved up, closed here. So this one is the open. I can see that because I can see it, and I know the 530 is here. But if you were to draw out your 530 opening price, that's a good spot you can maybe target. It just depends. Right? So maybe you could draw back into around this area, right? That wouldn't give you the 1 to 3. I'm just saying though, maybe that's something that you could be involved into around this area. Maybe you could get a smaller stop loss on this kind of trade. And like, what if you had 150 tick stop loss, right? And you were to target this just the 530 opening price. This would give you a 3.71 if you got tagged in here and did not get taken out. But really, you should be covering, this high, or at least like the 50% of this candle here. I'll show you. It just depends with time and experience. You guys will see, but you see that we should at least probably be covering, 50% of this. But I think I'm gonna go, and I think I'm gonna put a position on this trade, so you can be accurate, right? So hover over this candle, and then look at the top left screen where it says the little owl. So I'm sorry, the high. The high's at 21587. So I can just click on this, make it how I want to. Cool, right? 21587. I can set a limit on this. And I'll do the 250 tick stop loss. So we'll see. I am kind of, in a way, maybe rushing things, and I just started the stream. But really, this is the time that you'd be getting into trades. I just happened to show up late to the party. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep an eye on that 530 opening price. We are going to make this to give us a 1 to 3 just to see if that's something that we could get to play out. And if you're looking, we still need this candle to close the hour candle that we're in, but there's also this little gap here in price, right? So far, that's our gap, right? If this candle came no lower in the next 10 minutes and it did close around there, then our fair value gap would be from there to there. And maybe you could see like the 50% of that area hit. So you have a potential target here at 530. You have a potential target here, the half of the gap. Or maybe price just goes completely the other way and goes higher, which, if that happened, it happened. But I do like the fact that we are like, above midnight opening price. We're above the 530. We took a previous high. So anytime you're above an old high or old low, you're in a premium or a discount. You guys got to go watch the ICT 2022 mentorship. If you cannot sit there through an hour long or 2 hour long video, just give up now and go about your life. Yes, so technically the previous day low is here, right? So maybe someone would say, well, we took out the daily high, maybe we take out the daily low. That's a lot of ticks. 1659 on a Friday. There's not really any news. And the news already happened, I believe. So, it just depends. I like this limit here. We'll see what happens and how it goes. I'm going to toggle over to a second account real fast and do a smaller limit and just kind of see what happens. I guess. I'm going to mute for a second. Hopefully the sound today has not been terrible. I'm not sure why on the last stream it was so bad. I don't know if you guys can see the gap that I see there, but in the 15 minute, we have a minute left for the candle to close. Like I said, we have midnight opening here. We have the 5:30 opening price there. We moved up over a previous high, and now in the 15 minute, when this candle closes, I do see a gap from there to there, and then I've already showed you the 5-minute gap. So since this higher time frame, the higher time frame being the 15 minute, since this gap is here, you wouldn't necessarily need this 5-minute gap to be filled. Like, it could be filled for sure, or it could just be left alone and price will move on without us. So you have to just see. But on the 5-minute, I do like how we have like this little like 1, 2 little highs right there, like a clean little trend line almost. Someone somewhere is like, oh, it's a trend line break, and however they view the market. That's not how I see it though. So I do like the fact if we could sweep just into this gap, 5-minute gap here that I've already marked out, that would be a cool entry. That's 331 ticks away though, so I don't know. I don't know if it would. For those of you that trade like Forex or something, I believe every 10 ticks is 1 pip, right? So if it's 300 ticks, that's 30 pips. So some math for you guys. Again, I was talking about the targets too. Like, say we were to go bearish, right? And we were to go, price did move lower, and we, got tagged in here, and we were looking for our targets. Yeah, this gave us some 1 to 3. Like I said, you could be targeting 5:30. You could be targeting the hourly gap. You could be targeting the midnight opening price, right? So even way down here, I don't know if price would get there, but that's just something you could have in mind as you're trading and getting in. It's always best to know where you're going to get out at prior to even getting into the trade. Because if not, you're just, throwing darts at the wall and hoping to get a bullseye. And we are not gamblers, boys. We are traders. This is our job. We do this over and over again with rules and a system and, a plan. So just wanted to share that. I'm going to let this play out and see. I'm going to watch the 5 minute because I do like the 5-minute, but I know that the 15-minute high is pretty much just right at this blue line, right? So if that blue line gets wicked and not this one getting wicked, I can probably see that. I'll see that and know, okay, maybe that's all we need to do. So guys, so we did, like I said, we didn't need to tap into that 5 minute gap, and we barely missed it, but we did touch into this 15 minute gap. Um, there's still room for it to go to that 5 minute gap for sure. There's now equal highs right here, just right below our 5 minute gap. So I would like for that thing to get hit. If it did not though, and we had this limit, we did not get tagged, we could wait for a lower time frame, like the 1 minute. We can wait for structure shifts here, right? If this low now gets taken or broken, and these lows start getting broken, you can follow along on the Mike. We can follow along on the fair value gaps that form as price is breaking here, here, and here, and then you could still just target, the 530, the hourly gap, the 2100 opening. So we have to see there is still time and room for price to come just back up into this area and tag us. It's 160 ticks away or 16 pips, so it just depends. But like I said, higher time frame is always more important. We have 2 minutes left in this candle close, and we did wick this 15-minute gap perfectly. We didn't respect the high. I mean, we did not disrespect the higher part of that fair value gap, and we are closing with it nice and intact. So we'd have to see if price breaks this low and gives me a gap, something like this. I would continue to follow along in price and get in on, fair value gaps here when it came back, right? We are just following price as it's being created if it does not tap into this 5 minute gap in the higher area. And if it does tag us, that's great, but it does not need to. which is like around the gap was around this blue line. So we've wicked into it. The 5 minute did not get filled. This is not really a break, so I guess there would still be no entry yet unless you were just entering off of the gaps, right away. Oh, look right there. So now price has broken lower or is breaking lower than that. I think for a moment there I was talking and I was muted, but I'm not sure, so I'm not going to repeat myself. But that might have been the case as I was drawing stuff on. I was talking. If you did not hear me, that's my fault. Sorry. So in hindsight, I don't know if this is a repeat of me talking about it. I don't know if you guys heard me or not, but in hindsight, on the 15-minute, this was a great opportunity to enter, just pretty much right at this blue line. And had you entered, you would have been tagged in minimal drawdown, and you'd already be up, 250 ticks, 300 ticks. Um, so sometimes you cannot get the perfect entry. Sometimes you need to just execute, and that sucks to watch price leave without you, but it's not the end of the world. There are more opportunities that present themselves. So it's 7:30 right now. We'll see. Does price come into this gap? If it does not come into the gap, I'm gonna just market execute because we have, I mean, that's a tiny little gap there. Tiny little gap there. I really like this gap. If it was to be filled, to be perfect. If it only hit this one though, or this area here, I'm gonna just market sell for. But these 15-minute gaps, right? Like if you're keeping in mind the hourly and the 4 hour, we moved above an old high. We are above midnight price, right? Those are the important keys. The results and the steps that I repeat over and over every day is that, where are we at in price? Where's midnight open? Where's 5:30 open? And those are repeatable steps every day that will allow you to have a system to trade with. Almost tagged and filled. We'll see what happens.
Order filled.
Cool, nice. So we did get a fill. I'm gonna go up a time frame real fast. So I'm gonna put my stop to the same thing, 21596. That's 250 ticks with 4 contracts. It's $500. And then we want to at least get here at 21346. Right, $1,500. So risk is 5 to make 15, which is a 1 to 3 risk to reward. And then that would be putting us around this, like maybe you see this as an order block or something. So this is a solid area on the hourly time frame for us to kind of come back into. And again, maybe we come back to the midnight opening price. But this whole area here, that is a good target too. We shall see what happens. I'm gonna get up. So you got tagged in at 5.3.5, and we moved up 39, 40 ticks, 42 ticks. You probably don't need as big of a stop loss, like I was saying, but it's okay to drop your risk and widen your stop and just take a more solid trade that plays out over the day compared to being so worried about these small high risk trades that are wicking real fast in and out, and you have a uh, you know low win rate, whatever it is. Sometimes less is more, and I'm trying to be an advocate for that, show you guys that that is true. We'll see what happens. Honestly, it could still come into this 5 minute gap, and if it did, if it say it came all the way up and took me out, I would take another trade, um, possibly, and still sell from this area here and still target the, 1 to 3. It all just depends on what happens. Sometimes, most of the times, it pays to wait. And, had I just kept my original limit here, maybe we would be getting tagged in there. Or if I had entered here, we'd just be back to break even. But right now, we're just kind of floating in a little bit of drawdown. I'm going to do my stop a little bit bigger. Then I'm going to do it like that. I'm not going to take a second trade. I'm going to just leave my trade like that. So 275 ticks. Right, so now I have a 275 tick stop loss, and that only gives me a 2 to 7.3. I don't think I'm going to adjust it to take profit much. If anything, we'll just put this back to 250 if price comes here, does not wick me out, and starts moving lower. Guys, also, so this 5 minute gap has been left open, right? This is on the hour time frame, right? The wick, that's what we're looking at here in the 5 minute, and we broke the swing low. I do like how there's this like trend line, right? Everyone's seeing this trend line as, oh, that's support and resistance, whatever you think it is, blah, blah, blah. In my eyes, I just see that there's money sitting there, there's money sitting here, and there's money sitting here. So if it was to wick and take all that money out and tap into this gap, and like I said, you probably need to be covering it at least here on at least to the highs of this candle here with the entry. So really the better entry would have been our original entry, right? If it played out, which was at 187, somewhere like that, right? That is a much better entry because now what's going to happen is we might even get tagged out of this trade. Um, so I don't know. We'll have to just see because the way we took the trade, we might get tagged out of it. And if we did, I'm just going to be done. But hopefully that doesn't take us out. But really, like you should have been covering, waiting for this, wait for all this sweep to be happen, and you'd be covering somewhere right here. I mean, unless you want like a super big stop loss, but you can't do that. That's you risking $900 to make $1,500. That doesn't really make sense. have an account that's ineligible and active, I'm going to put that original 187 back. Let's just do limit cell 4. And we'll kind of just see what happens with that one. All right, guys. So we did get that touch of that 5 minute gap, but looking here at the hourly, we did kind of just wick into this fair value gap here. So who knows? Maybe we just continue going higher, taking out this high, and making our way this way. I am not a magician, so I cannot say. I'm going to just keep my trade open as is. I did move my stop to 750, and I did move my TP a little bit lower. On the account that's not active, I did take the trade and my original idea here, and I just put the stop loss to the 250 ticks that I originally had planned for. It's already 8:12. I'm going to end this stream. We are packing up. My family and I are going on a trip, so I'm gonna go ahead and just help them out a little bit more than being distracted and come in over here. I hope you guys have a good day, a good weekend. Get outside, read a book, do your workouts, fight those bad habits, and be a disciplined person on and off of the charts. It will translate to all of your life. But God bless, guys. Take care. You can do it. A good verse, and I always think about this verse from the Bible. It's Romans 5:3-5. And it's suffering produces perseverance, perseverance, character, and character, hope. So, for those of you who are having a hard time trading and it seems there's no, tunnel light at the end of the tunnel, there is. You have to just keep on doing your thing, keep on trying your best, and show up every single day, disciplined and patient. You guys can do it. I can do it.